Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, as you guys can see up on the screen. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI, or Sofi, for those of you who are maybe not as familiar with the stock or, with the company or whatever. And today was not so great of a day for Sofi. We started out maybe a little bit flat. Maybe it even got like, 0.01% green around 955. It looks like it might have crossed above the line. But really, this was just a straight downward day. I mean, like we said, we were a little bit flat at the beginning and then just down, more down, and more down, being down 6.24% on the day, up 0.18% after hours. Just not a good day today, not a good start to the week after what I believe was another red day on Monday. Just really kind of looking rough overall. But it's not all SoFi's fault. When we take a look at the broader market, we'll see that the Dow Jones was down 1.56%, S&P was down over 2%, NASDAQ was almost down 3 whole percentage points, and the Russell 2000 was down 1.86%. So there's a lot of red everywhere. Like I said, it's not just SoFi's fault, but obviously SoFi was down a significant amount more than the rest of the market. Even though there's a lot of red everywhere, SoFi definitely underperformed the major indices and stuff like that, which is not necessarily surprising for an individual stock, especially a speculative stock, a more risky stock, an unprofitable stock and company. But it's not a great sign, and this just means SoFi is going to have even more ground to kind of make up if the market ever does start to turn around. Making up for all these underperforming days, you need outperforming days. But we'll have to wait and see how that all goes. It does suck a little bit that, over the past month, we actually started to see some good gains. Like from June 16th to June 24th, we were up 12% in SoFi. The market seemed to be doing pretty good. Some people were saying, hey, we hit the bottom, it's up from here. We're all turning things around. Since then, we've kind of given back all of those gains, now only being up 1.65% in the last 12 days. So, the market had a good week last week. It's off to a bad start this week. And SoFi is kind of following the overall what the market's doing, which is what a lot of stocks are doing. But there's still plenty to talk about today, and we're going to get into some actually pretty interesting and exciting news. First, I just thought this article was funny from the Motley Fool, Fool.com. They said why shares of SoFi are falling today. And they pretty much said, hey, there's no obvious reason behind the move, which I think is kind of funny, but I think articles like this are really stupid. Obviously, they just, are trying to get their clicks. There's people who are going to be like, oh, why SoFi falling, or SoFi stock news or whatever, and they're going to get directed to this. And it's like, whatever. I don't know. Obviously, there is no specific news, but the news is just the market is not good right now. We are entering, or we are already in, a bear market for the stock market overall. The S&P, the NASDAQ, all these things are down, and when they're down, SoFi is going to go down with them. Yes, stocks don't only move on their own positive and negative news. They move, with the market as a whole, and obviously, we still have crazy inflation. We still have recessionary or depressionary fears if we are not already in a recession. We have rising interest rates, war in Ukraine, all these things going on. The whole stock market's going down. And when that happens, like I said, a speculative company, a risky company, an unprofitable company like SoFi is going to get hit hard. People are looking for safer, more stable, more profitable companies right now. Overall, it's kind of a stupid article, but I'm not just calling out the fool. There's tons of places that do this. Kind of interesting. We also had this from the Motley Fool, giving them a chance to redeem themselves, where they had this article that says, one growth fintech stock to have conviction in. And they say, here's why SoFi stock price looks like an opportunity. For growth stock enthusiasts, SoFi might fit the bill in terms of upside potential at a compelling price. And then they, go on to have a little blip here from Jason Hall saying, I think the price is very compelling. I think anybody who's looking to own a really growthy bank, I think SoFi is really compelling. But for me, the reason I ranked it where I did is because it's becoming prove it time. This is a business that they built the nuts and bolts. This is the infrastructure of what they wanted to deliver and the results they wanted. They own a bank. Again, they got the bank charter in 2022. They have more control over their future because of that. They've added all these products. Now it's time to start generating the economic results of its growth. The balance sheet is in good shape. I'm in prove it mode and seeing whether the sum of all the parts is truly is greater. That, for me, is where I am. For the record, this is my second largest bank holding on cost basis. I have a lot of conviction here. So, obviously, this is just one guy, just one writer, but, for the Motley Fool, Fool.com, whatever, being pretty excited. Yes, SoFi has done a lot of cool things. A lot of great news has come out so far in 2022, getting closer and closer to profitability, maybe going to reach profitability, maybe 2022, more likely 2023, hopefully. We'll have to see how that goes and if they're able to, keep those projections going. A lot of cool things, a lot of good news, Technesis, all this different stuff. But we'll have to see how it pans out into actual dollars and potential profit going forward in the future. But this is at least somebody that's bullish on the company. Also, people talking about the importance of SoFi Stadium. They posted this image on Reddit. SoFi Stadium, the Kinsey African American Art and History Collection, February 23rd, 2022 to June 19th, 2022. You know, just all the different kinds of events, concerts, sports, games, all the things going on at SoFi Stadium. We know that they had the NFC Championship game. They had the Super Bowl. They had all these different cool things. But you know, still throughout the year, this is still being used as an advertising piece. This is still obviously a structure that SoFi has a naming rights to, and it's something where people are going to continue to, you know, have that name and have that brand and have that company associated with the different events going on there, and that it should be a lot of publicity and a lot of advertising for SoFi, which is cool. But I thought this was an interesting comment. The top comment here says, I wish SoFi would sponsor the esports scene as well. A lot of younger folks like a good, memorable brand. Something akin to MasterCard Replay on LOL would spread like wildfire in the community. And yes, I do think this would be very, very cool, especially because SoFi is, you know, going after a lot of that younger, you know, audience. Yes, those younger people, they might not have as much money now, but you assume they're going to have a lot of money at some point in the future. But also, if you get somebody young, you can have them for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And also, you know, if you're a fintech, you're exciting, you're trying to be, you know, all about technology and all this stuff, that's obviously where the younger demographic is going to be held at. Now, yes, they are also going after members of established banks and the big banks and all that stuff. And that's one thing, but still, you know, I do think there is some esports element to be incorporated in this whole thing, especially because, you know, SoFi Stadium's in Los Angeles, esports, Los Angeles is like a hub for all that stuff. I think there's a lot of cool crossover and opportunities, and especially right now where a lot of esports stuff you can get, I assume, pretty cheap activation. You know, esports is a fraction of what traditional sports are, and, you know, you might be able to get a pretty good bang for your buck. Like I said, it is tough because gamers and young people in general don't have a ton of money, but maybe it's something interesting to look into, and it definitely seems like it could hit home with their target demographic. We also had this. Flip selects Galileo to power its gamified mobile banking system. You know, this person says good news, minus 5%, $20 end of year bank charter. You know, we'll have to see how this goes, but this is really, really cool. More and more people continuing to use the Galileo system for all the different projects and all the different companies and all the different businesses and banks and stuff that they're using is really, really cool to see, because SoFi on its own, the company, the bank, the suite of financial options, continues to grow and continues to do cool things and is its own, you know, hopefully very, very profitable, monstrous business going forward in the future. But then you add in Galileo and all the companies that are also going to be using Galileo, SoFi can be successful in their own right, but they can also, you know, reap the rewards of other companies being successful. And that's where you really get into the idea of, you know, the AWS of fintech or whatever. Like, yes, Amazon is its own crazy, crazy, crazy business. But then everybody that uses AWS, when they succeed and they need more server space and they need more and more and more and more, and they have more money to spend and more money to spend, that also helps out Amazon. So Amazon wins when they win and when everybody else wins as well. And SoFi seems to be getting, you know, not obviously nowhere near the Amazon level just yet, but they're getting into a similar position where, yes, they have themselves to kind of count on and rely on, but they also have so many other people using these Galileo systems. And as they continue to grow and do cool things, you know, SoFi is going to reap some rewards on that. But finally, the biggest news of the day was this. SoFi is raising APY to 1.5%. This is crazy. SoFi has done an amazing job since receiving their bank charter about leading the way in terms of APY. Now we are seeing obviously rising interest rates all over. You know, and people are looking for safer and better places to store away their money, but they're also looking for better returns on that money as interest rates continue to rise. SoFi, you know, was the first to start out at $1, at 1%, not $1. They bumped it up to 1.25%. But then we had the news that, you know, M1 came out and they were going to go for the 1.3% APY. So SoFi had to answer. They came back with a 1.5% APY. I'm sure that this is on the checking and savings, which is just super, super cool. You know, being able to get that APY in your checking account is just awesome. I think you have to be a SoFi member and using direct deposit, but that is definitely worth it if you're getting, you know, really industry leading APY on your money. You know, if it's going to be your checking account that you're going to be using anyway, like why, how could you pass it up? Why would you not use that? And I think that is really I've been saying this throughout all of 2022, that is the biggest selling point for SoFi right now. And that's something, you know, that makes me want to use it. If I can get APY on checking account, let alone savings account, that I can't get anywhere else, That's a huge plus. That's a huge standout. And I love that SoFi continues to raise the bar and it continues to go. And again, they have incentive to do so with rising rates all over the place. But I think it's really, really cool and really just kind of instills confidence in me that they continue to do stuff like this. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about SOFI. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.